So what is our philosophy? Our students should be able to log in anytime, anywhere, in any time zone. Although most of our students are in New England, we do have students around the world, and that is the framework we operate from. We have a current student in our reading specialist program that lives in Luxembourg and a doctoral student in China. Similarly, we have instructors who teach from the Netherlands, China, and Hawaii. Ultimately, we offer asynchronous programs, and we stand by this promise. However, optional synchronous sessions are offered as an enrichment opportunity. This is used to enhance instruction and provide additional opportunities for interactions with peers and instructor, such as student presentations or faculty office hours. Further building on the concept of connections and interaction, discussion boards should promote learning, sharing of perspectives, and serve to build community.
Just jump in here, Olga, and say that discussion boards are an essential part of an asynchronous course, as this is how students get to know one another and bounce ideas off of each other. In what K-12 students are doing today with online learning, a lot of students are using Google Meet or Zoom or other synchronous tools, which allow for the real time of exchange of ideas. So discussion boards may not be something that you have seen before if you haven't taken an asynchronous course.
Further on, in our philosophy, outcomes come first, and then tools are selected for the best match to the assignment. We strive to explicitly and transparently design learning experiences in a way that aligns content, assessments, and program outcomes with technology supporting the entire student experience. As an online student, you should experience minimal disruptions. Because our students are busy adults, we assume they have many demands on their time and are intentional about how we use technology in our courses. To eliminate the barriers as much as possible, we strive to use consistent technology from course to course, supply self-guided tutorials, and have support staff to walk students through setup or basic troubleshooting. Unlike in K-12 education, which makes it easier for us, we do not have to provide equipment for student use off campus. So we acknowledge the greater burden on public schools to supply equipment and connectivity for students. As we will share with you, course design and production are time-consuming major projects. Thus, we strive to build courses in a way that does not depend on specific technology, so they don't quickly become obsolete as technology changes. The exception to this would be the type of software that professionals use in the field of study. Our philosophy is that our course media should be accessible to all. Accessible design is good design and benefits all students, regardless of their abilities. For instance, here you see we use multiple modes of content representation. It's a video, it's an interactive transcript, or a downloadable handout. When we design the student experience, that's what we think of when we say courses. We apply the universal design principles to ensure universal access to the course materials and activities. What might be some examples of this spectrum of ability? So you don't necessarily have to have a disability, a registered disability. There are some other impediments to a successful performance in your course. So our students might ride the bus, or they can study while they commute, or they have a house full of children doing school remotely. They may not have Word on the device. So how can they view a handout? These are the things we have to ponder as we design our instructional materials. Or the presenter in the video is soft-spoken. What do you do about that? Or you really prefer to see both the spoken text and listen. Some of our students have English as a second language. So for them, it might be helpful to translate certain terms into the native language. The presenters may speak too fast or too slowly for you. So universal design for learning aims to make content accessible for the entire spectrum of ability. Another part to our philosophy is that we want to supply students with as much as possible without extra fees. So free tools are preferred, and we attempt to ensure no barrier for students in accessing those. UNE-made resources such as videos produced by faculty, guest lecturers, and instructional design team are available and are fully transcribed and are presented in multiple modalities. Building on that, moving toward open educational resources has been a trend in our college. So whenever possible, we seek out resources that are openly licensed, as well as we create our own resources and share them with the world. Some of the examples that we're going to demonstrate today live either in YouTube or on GitHub, which is open to anybody. So Elaine, over to you.
The effects of the philosophy, that all the different things that Olga was just discussing, is that it's different than just doing what you normally do in a regular classroom. I updated a course that had some of the basic pieces already built. And as a former classroom teacher, this was a big shift for me. In the classroom, I always had an overall unit plan, but I did my weekly lessons in chunks. That would give me time to reteach or revise my lesson, or if an assignment flopped, I could re-explain it and give the students another chance. However, when you're designing in an asynchronous method, you write the entire course. You sit down and make sure you write from start to finish. So there is no opportunity to kind of replan on the fly. So I personally found this to be a very challenging exercise. I just wanted to make sure I called that out.